Goodwrench also on the outside. Boats are lining up just a few moments away from the green flag. There's the rest of the field. Boats are all pretty much grouped together. There's Gifford Racing. How Sweet It Is Too. Eastern Express. Gotcha. And Mr. Goodwrench. All lined up pretty closely, waiting for the green flag. And we're just a few moments away. There's Gifford Racing on the inside, and How Sweet It Is Too, and the Eastern Express. Now we're going to go on board How Sweet It Is Too in just a few moments to see what that feels like. There we go. They were on board How Sweet It Is Too. We're sandwiched in between Gifford Racing and Eastern Express. And we're just a few moments away from the beginning of this race, and this is what it looks like. What you're seeing here is our approach to that cut which leads to Lake Erie. We're going through Presque Isle Bay here. And in just a few moments, we will see Eastern Express. And there's Eastern Express on the right side, Gifford Racing on the left. And the green flag is down. And the second half of this 1993 Flag Ship International Offshore Challenge has begun. And there's How Sweet It Is Too in between Gifford Racing on the left and Eastern Express on the right, heading for that cut into Lake Erie. How Sweet It Is Too. C39 is a 32-foot skater, powered by two 500-horsepowered MRD engines with Mercruiser drives. The driver of How Sweet It Is Too is Carlton Myers from Springfield, New York. At the throttle, James McIntyre of Freeport, New York. We're still looking from the onboard camera there as we're heading towards the cut. Now as we look at the field, in the middle of the screen you see Eastern Express taking the immediate lead. On the inside you've got Gifford Racing and How Sweet It Is Too in the middle, with on the far outside Mr. Goodwrench. There's Gifford Racing. Mr. Goodwrench on the far outside, trying to catch up to Eastern Express, taking the immediate lead here in the second half of this 1993 Flag Ship International Offshore Challenge. There's Gifford Racing and Mr. Goodwrench fighting it out, with How Sweet It Is Too in the middle, picking up some ground. Mr. Goodwrench on the far outside, maintaining, and in the lead, Eastern Express. Eastern Express is a 32-foot skater powered by two 700-horsepower Chevy engines and Mercruiser drives. There's Mr. Goodwrench on the outside and How Sweet It Is Too on the inside. Now as we look at the field, we go back to Eastern Express. Driving Eastern Express, Joe Brashami from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. At the throttle, Bob Carrick from Algonac, Michigan. There's Eastern Express. Now Eastern Express is once again taking the lead overall here, and it is number one currently in D class. It also took first place in Lake Peoria, Illinois earlier this year, and also first place in Montauk. There's Mr. Goodwrench on the far outside, and Eastern Express maintaining its lead. Eastern Express's sponsor is Eastern Produce. You're looking at the Eastern Express racing team. Bob Carrick doing a fine job at that throttle. Eastern Express has just gotten a tremendous start here in the second race of the Flag Ship International Offshore Challenge. This 32-foot skater seems to have just a great attitude so far. There's Team Jaguar, 35-foot Jaguar, powered by two 800-horsepower Mercury engines and Mercruiser number 4 drives. The driver of Team Jaguar, Gary Pearson of Westfield, New Jersey. Gary's, by the way, the president of the U.S. Offshore Racing Association. At the throttle, Jack Clark from Pembroke Park, Florida. Team Jaguar took second place in Montauk earlier this year with an average speed of 99.94 miles per hour. You're looking at the Team Jaguar racing team. Team Jaguar is owned by Gifford Marine of Egg Harbor, New Jersey. Some of the other crew members include Steve Salagi, Jerry Followine, Joe Halbrunner, Mike Burke, Sue Gifford, and Bill Gifford Jr. Throttle man Jack Clark is doing a fine job. Team Jaguar has a fine attitude at this point. Just listen to those Mercury engines. Before this race yesterday, Team Jaguar ran in the kilo run and set a record in the open class with an average speed of 123.21 miles per hour. Great job, Team Jaguar. As you can see, those waters in Lake Erie are rougher than they were this morning, but Team Jaguar is doing a fine job, and that boat has a great attitude. Once again, the driver of Team Jaguar is Gary Pearson, who is the U.S. Offshore president. Gary's from Westfield, New Jersey. Jack Clark is not only the throttle man, but he's also the builder of this 35-foot Jaguar. A fine piece of workmanship, as you can see as well as hear. Team Jaguar. And another fine piece of workmanship is this 40-foot Jaguar of Gifford Racing. It's powered by two 850 horsepower engines with number 6 Mercruiser drives. Driving Gifford Racing, Bill Gifford of Egg Harbor, New Jersey. At the throttle, Rich Dancision from Toms River, New Jersey. Gifford Racing took third place earlier this year in Montauk with an average speed of 92.48 miles per hour. And in the kilo run earlier, it had a speed of 112.56 miles per hour. Just listen to Rich Dancision on those throttles. Some of the other crew members aboard Gifford Racing include Steve Szilagyi, Jerry Follivine, Joe Halbrunner, Mike Burke, Sue Gifford, and Bill Gifford Jr. We'd like to give a special thanks also to Sue Gifford, who is the official scorekeeper for the U.S. Offshore Racing Association. You're looking at Gifford Racing. There's Rich Dancision, and just listen to how he's working those throttles aboard this 40-foot Jaguar. The Gifford Racing team would like to thank its sponsors, including Bell Atlantic and Sunoco Racing Fuels. You're looking at the Gifford Racing team, currently right on course. Doing a fine job. This is the 1993 Flag Ship International Offshore Challenge and Thunder Run. Second national race for U.S. Offshore this year, and its 5th race of the season. We wish the Gifford Racing team the very best of luck during the rest of the 1993 season. Currently in first place in D class is Eastern Express, a 32-foot skater powered by two 700 horsepower Chevy engines and Mercruiser drives. Driving Eastern Express, Joe Bershami from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. At the throttle, Bob Carrick from Algonac, Michigan. Now, Eastern Express took first place in Lake Peoria, Illinois. And now, as you know, this is the second leg of the Great Lakes Trophy Series. And considering that Eastern Express took first place in Lake Peoria, right now it is in first place in D-Class for that Trophy Series. It also took first place in Montauk with an average speed of 85.98 miles per hour. You're looking at Eastern Express. Those Chevy engines sound excellent. And there are some of the expected 25,000 spectators watching this race, watching along the shoreline there of the cut as Eastern Express makes its way through the cut. The Eastern Express racing team. And there you see the Mercruiser drives. Currently number one, Eastern Express, currently number one in D-Class. There's a little competition going on there between Wits End and C-Class and Tough Enough in P-Class on the outside. Wits End on the inside is a 32-foot skater powered by two 500-horsepower Mercury engines and Mercruiser drives. Driving Wits End, Bobby Whitko of Albany, New York. At the throttle, James DeNuyer from Bolton's Landing, New York. Wits End came in second earlier this year in Montauk with an average speed of 85.41 miles per hour. You're looking at the Wits End racing team. Throttle man Jim DeNuyer is doing a fine job there at the throttle, as is Bobby Whitko driving Wits End. Wits End currently is number one in C-Class. There are those Mercury outdrives. Good attitude. Engines sound excellent. No problem for Wits End at this point. Some of the other competition in C-Class, Mr. Goodwrench, Gotcha, and How Sweet It Is Too. You're looking at the Wits End racing team. Wits End racing team is right on course. Throttle man Jim DeNuyer, as we said before, is doing a fine job there, maintaining first place in C-Class. There you see Erie, Pennsylvania there in the background, some of the shoreline. This is really a great site to watch a race because you've got Presque Isle Bay, which is obviously enclosed, and people can watch along the shoreline as well as the cut. And they can have a great vantage point really up close as the boats are going by. Right behind the Wits End racing team is the Patriot racing team. The Patriot is a 35-foot motion powered by three 2.5 EFIs. The driver is Lisa Greger of Orlando, Florida. At the throttle, Bob Hamlin from Huntersville, North Carolina. There you see the spectators along the side. They're increasing. More people are out there because now the big boats are racing. You're looking at the Patriot racing team. Now, as we look at the Patriot, we swing up ahead a little bit and we see Wits End, which is currently in first place in C-Class. The Patriot racing team has done fairly well this year. Placed fourth at the East-West Powerboat Shootout in Corpus Christi, Texas. Third place at Fort Apache Hooligans with an average speed of 81.25. And third place in Atlantic City. There's the Patriot. Patriot is rigged by Engel Marine and maintained by Mike Belgium. There, as we look at those three 2.5 EFIs, seems that Mike has done a fine job maintaining this boat as you see it and hear it as well. Just listen to those engines. That is the Patriot Racing Team. By the way, the sponsor of the Patriot is the Environmental Source Samplers. Some of the other competition in the Pro Stock class is High Risk, Tough Enough, Stylin', Jaws, and Insanity. The Patriot Racing Team also ran the Kilo Run at a speed of 101 miles per hour. Those 2.5 EFIs certainly performed in that Kilo Run. You're watching the 1993 Flag Ship International Offshore Challenge, the second national race for the U.S. Offshore Racing Association. As we see Bob Hamlin in the cockpit throttling, those 2.5 EFIs sound excellent. The Patriot Racing Team would like to thank Mike Belgium for maintaining the boat and doing a fine job. In P class, there's Stylin' on the inside and High Risk on the outside, fighting for position in P class. We believe that it's probably here third and fourth place, with Stylin' in third and High Risk in fourth place, fighting for position right now. As you're looking at High Risk on the outside, going out to Stylin' on the inside, we believe currently in third place. The P-17 Stylin' race team is a 32-foot skater powered by three 2.5 EFIs. The driver is Al Rulo from Schenectady, New York. At the throttle, Jason Saris from Lake George, New York. You're looking at P-17 Stylin'. Stylin' is rigged and maintained by Performance Marine, which is in Lake George, New York. Some of the sponsors include Capital Land and Auto Bear Express. You're looking at the Stylin' race team. We believe currently in third in P class. Jason Saris doing a fine job at the throttle. Those 2.5 EFIs sound excellent. Just listen. There's Rick Felson in High Risk in fourth place in P class. And now we're back to Stylin'. Just a little bit ahead in third place. Some of the other competitors in the Pro Stock class include Patriot, Tough Enough, Stylin' is right on course as Al Rulo, the driver. This 28-foot Douglas skater, as you can see, has really no problems going through these choppy water conditions. One of the other crew members is Richard DeSantis of this DeSantis Chevy. And looks like the entire crew did a wonderful job getting this boat ready for the race today. And there are those two 2.5 Mercury outboards. You're looking at DeSantis Chevy, currently in first place in S class. Currently in second place in C-Class, Mr. Goodwrench, a 28-foot Challenger, powered by two 750 horsepower Chevy engines with Mercruiser drives. Jim Aggles is the driver and throttle man. Navigating is Phil McCombs. Jim Aggles is from Peoria, Illinois. Mr. Goodwrench came in second place in Lake Peoria, Illinois earlier this year. Took third in Montauk with an average speed of 73.27 miles per hour. Some of the other crew members include Sean Bowers, Mike Bowers, Joe Maxwell, Digash, and Wayne Parker. Some of the sponsors: Chevrolet, GM Parts, Challenger, more power. Mr. Goodwrench was the 1992 Central Division champion. You're looking at the Mr. Goodwrench Racing Team, currently in second place. Jim Aggles doing a fine job driving and throttling there, as we just saw some of the spectators along the cut as Mr. Goodwrench makes his way through that cut. What a great place to see the race. Just see those boats go by up close. Once again, Mr. Goodwrench running number 2 in second place in C-Class. As you might remember, Mr. Goodwrench had a great start along with How Sweet It Is and Eastern Express, and it's still right there, doing really well in second place in C-Class. Mr. Goodwrench. Boat has a good attitude. The engines sound real fine. There's Feeling Wet, S9, a 30-foot Cobra, powered by two 2.5 EFIs. On board driver Gary Riccio of Point Pleasant, New Jersey. At the throttle, Brian Riccio of also Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Once again, there's Feeling Wet. And out in front of Feeling Wet is Hot and Nasty, also a 30-foot Cobra powered by two 2.5 Mercury EFIs. There's the Jaws Racing Team as we look back on the field of Feeling Wet and Hot and Nasty. And there we are with Jaws again. Jaws is a 32-foot superboat powered by three 2.5 EFIs. Driver of Jaws, Ronnie Appleby from Durnville, New Jersey. At the throttle, David Horseman from Hackettstown, New Jersey. Navigating, John Stallings from Denville, New Jersey. Jaws took second place in Montauk earlier this year with an average speed of 80.68 miles per hour. You're looking at the Jaws Racing Team. 32-foot superboat. Some of the other competition in the Pro Stock class along with Jaws include Patriot, High Risk, Tough Enough, Stylin', and Insanity. There's Jaws. Once again, we see Jaws going through the cut. Spectators have a grand view of the race there. There's S3 Hot and Nasty again. Hot and Nasty is a 30-foot Cobra powered by two 2.5 Mercury EFIs. Billy Mouth of Setauket, Long Island is driving. At the throttle, Rich City of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. You're looking at S3 Hot and Nasty. Hot and Nasty. Sponsors include Lexington Fire Protection, CNJ Auto Collision, WHM Plumbing, Cody Marine. There on the outside is Feeling Wet. Now, Feeling Wet and Hot and Nasty are basically identical boats, and right now they're fighting it out for second place here. The Santa Chevy's in first, up ahead by a few miles. But right now it's between Hot and Nasty and Feeling Wet battling out in S-Class for second place. Now, as we look at Hot and Nasty on the inside, we also want to tell you that the Hot and Nasty Racing Team would like to thank Pete from Cobra, Doug from Pro Marine, and maintenance by Brandon Kuhn as well. You're looking at Hot and Nasty on the inside, Feeling Wet on the outside, fighting for second place in S-Class. Feeling Wet on the outside is also, as we say, a 30-foot Cobra. They are identical boats, powered by two 2.5 EFIs. Hot and Nasty throttle man, Rich City, doing an excellent job with those engines, and there's Feeling Wet on the outside. Very close race here, very close race. Some good competition between these two boats, which are basically identical. As we were saying, Hot and Nasty is on the inside, just a little bit ahead right now of Feeling Wet, which is out